Ramban in Parshas Korach, very basic and fundamental. He goes to explain what was the basis for Korach's mutiny against Moshe. So that's explicit in the Midrash, that there was an appointmentship that was given to Elitzov ben Uziel, who was a first cousin, who was a brother, one of the younger brothers of Korach's father, and he felt he was denied something he had a right to. So the Ramban says, "Hanocha bidrash shekoas Korach al nesias el tzofon k'mayim orim arbasenu," as the Chazal, as the Medrash says explicitly. V'kine gam ba'aron, and he was envious of Aaron. K'mo shenema bikashtem gam kahuna, he felt he should have been the Kohen Gadol. Now this is the point. V'nimshchu Dosan v'Aviram imo. We find Dosan and Aviram, they were partners in this mutiny, even more than Korach. V'lo b'chora, not because Reuven was the firstborn, and the b'chora was denied from Reuven. Ki Yaakov aviyam hu shenotla mi Reuven v'nosla Yosef. This has nothing with Moshe Rabbeinu. This goes back to Yaakov Avinu, that because of Reuven's impulsive behavior, the b'chora, the birthright, was taken from him and given to Yosef. Av gam heim omru tainosim, they also had a claim. Lamisein ba'midbar, you took us to kill us in the desert. V'lo eretz zovas chol advosh, evisonu, you didn't bring us to land that flows with milk and honey. Now, this Hinei b'yisro b'yosam ba'midbar Sinai. The Jews, from the moment they entered into the Sinai desert, lo ira lehem shum ro, no evil befell them. Gam b'dvar ha'egel, even when they sinned with the egel, sho yached godol mefursam hoyo mesim uotim, which the set was the most grave, and it was known, but yet the casualties were few, very few casualties after the chet egel. B'tfiloso shel Moshe shisnapel aleim arbom yom ha'beloilo. Through the tefillah of Moshe, he supplicated Hashem 40 days and 40 nights. The Jews, they loved him with their souls, with their lives, and they followed every word of his, every dictate. If anybody would dare to question Moshe's leadership at that moment, they would have stoned him. Because Moshe was such a favorite of Klal Yisrael, how do you dare even question his word? Therefore, they bit their tongues. They tolerated in silence. They suffered in silence until this moment. When they came to the desert of Poron, when they began complaining there was a fire, the story with the slove, with the quail. Rabim, this is a question. When they sinned with the Meraglim, Moshe did not pray for them. And the decree remained in place. And all the princes, they died through a plague. And all the people between the age of 20 and 60, they should perish and die over a 39-year period. So all the people were depressed, were embittered, and they said in their hearts, Moshe's only bring tragedy to their lives. They haven't seen any bracha yet. We have all these promises. None of the promises ever came to fruition. Now Korach found, now's the moment. Now's the moment to attack and to launch the mutiny against Moshe Rabbeinu. And he thought the people would follow him. Because now the mood is ripe for rebellion. And that's why they said, you took us to kill us in the desert. You did not fulfill what you promised us, to give us a land that flows with kilo nesato and nachal. We received nothing. We're going to die and perish in the desert. And even our children, you said if they'll go in, you'll come up with some other reason that they're not going in either. V'zetam tlunosim hinei b'mokum hazeh ach exeres meraglim miyad. That's why at this moment, Korach felt now's the moment to mutiny and rebel against Moshe Rabbeinu. V'akorov, he says, and also it makes sense to say, Ki hine hoyu elah nikolim kulam b'chorim. All these that were part of this mutiny, they were all firstborn. Why? Ki al kain chora lehem al kunoso. That's they were upset. The b'chorim were the original Kohanim. V'kach omer lehem Moshe sheyichu machtos ki minhogam rishon. They should take the fire pans with incense. Who burns incense? The Kohen. So Moshe says, you take, if you think you're the Kohanim, because they were the Bechorim, take the incense, burn it, v'yizgala dover, and it will be revealed without question, in Yivcha Hashem Bohemo B'Kohanim. If you think you're worthy and qualified to be the Kohen because you're the Bechorim, we'll see if you're going to survive. And they all perished. They died when they brought the fire pans and they burnt the incense. Okay? Now, there's a question. The claim was Moshe prayed for them by the Egel, which was very serious. Why did Moshe pray for them by the Meraglim, by Korach? Or by the Meraglim? Why did he pray for him by the Meraglim? He always went to bat for us. So it was a good point. Why did he abandon them? The answer is, the whole thing is what? It's a facade. You promise and promise, you never meant to take us in. If you take a look in what Hashem said by the Meraglim, they tested me 10 times. I've given them 10 opportunities, and every time they tested me. I've had enough. Meaning, it was a crescendo of Chil Hashem. At this moment, Hashem says, it's unforgivable. Chet Egel was just the beginning. Even though we failed at the seed, that was before Kabbalah Satorah. We had many failings. But now this is post-Kabbalah Satorah, and the number's 10. 10, it's over. I've given them every chance, every opportunity to show their faith in me, and their trust. They failed. Now it's unforgivable. Moshe Rabbeinu, it's like the Ramban writes, we find that Avram Avinu, when he heard that Sodom was going to be destroyed, he immediately said, maybe there's so many tzaddikim, maybe this and that. After Hashem said it's over, it was over. Why didn't he pray? He should have prayed for them. The answer is, when he understood that there was no basis, that no chance, because they had no merit, because it was proven how evil they were, there's nothing to talk about. Hashem says, if they cross that line 10 times, there's no hope. There's no chance. There's no going back. Now it's at a level which is unforgivable. I always say, Rabbeinu Bachya writes, we find the number 10 always reoccurring. Correct? We find Avram Avinu was tested with 10 tests. The 10 generations from Adam to Noach, 10 generations from Noach to Avram Avinu. There were 10 miracles in the Beis Hamikdash. There were 10 plagues. There were 10 miracles at the sea. Aser Sadibros. 10 is always repeating itself, always reoccurring. What's the significance of number 10? So Rabbeinu Bachya writes, we find that Chazal tell us, Basar Maimoros Never Olam. The world was created through 10 utterances of God. Now, what was the objective of those 10 utterances? Bereshis Bar Elokim. That existence came into being through 10 utterances was with an objective for there should be the Torah given and a people who are qualified to receive Torah, which is Klal Yisrael. Therefore, everything manifests itself within the profile of 10 tests. You meet the 10 tests, then you qualify to have relevance to what? To the Torah. For what the objective is. Because the 10 was the basis or the expression to bring about that objective. Therefore, Hashem says, I gave you 10 tests. You failed every one of them. It's over. Avram succeeded in all 10. Because he succeeded, therefore he was qualified to be the founding father of Klal Yisrael.